This is what I do when I'm lazy and I don't feel like putting the stuff up under the shop and all that. I've been having some issues with my dogs tearing my crap up, so I didn't really want to put it back there and everything, but I just throw a tarp on it. But it's not really the best thing, but it's what I do in short notice. Looks like crap. You got water built up on there, my crap's getting all wet, so yeah, I wouldn't recommend this. But I just didn't feel like coming out here and doing it in the rain. So what I'm gonna do today is pretty much on this video is I'm gonna show y'all these 3 trimmers, which are my main trimmers that I use every day or ride on the trailer every day. I don't use all of them sometimes, but I'm gonna show you some startups, how they run so far. I've had all of them about 2 years. This is the oldest of the 3. It's probably about 2.5 years old. But yeah, I'm just gonna get them all running, show you pretty much. If you're interested in a Shindiawa, you're about to see how they run about 2.5 years later. And this is pretty much with like 0 maintenance besides just the basics. Okay, so I'm gonna do pretty much just an overview of my main equipment that I use on a daily basis. What I'm gonna do here, if you've seen my other videos, you've pretty much seen how all this equipment ran when I first got it and my review of it then, but what I've noticed in a lot of these review videos is guys will make videos of equipment, but it's brand new. So that doesn't really help me much when I'm watching a YouTube video about equipment. I don't care how your weed eater runs when it's brand new. Of course it's gonna run good. Everything runs good when it's brand new. So this video is gonna be my way of fixing that. I'm going to show you how all this stuff runs after 2 years. All this equipment is about 2 years old, including the blower here. I figured I'd throw that in. So you're going to get an honest review of 2-year-old equipment, and that'll help you hopefully make your decision on choosing what equipment you want for your business. Now, a little disclaimer here, some of these aren't going to run perfect, but that's not exactly Shindiawa's fault. It's just normal little tune-up stuff that I've been needing to get done, but I just haven't felt like doing it. That's why I got these out. I'm going to make the video. I'm going to do the tune-up stuff today, and I'll probably be making a follow-up video after I do all the tune-ups to show you how they're going to be running. And this is stuff that I'm going to do here at the house myself. I'm not taking it to the shop to get worked on. It's nothing major like that, so that way these little problems that they are having is, for the most part, stuff you can fix yourself as long as you're a little handy with small engines. But so far, none of these have had any major issues, haven't had to replace any parts or any type of like engine work or anything, just normal carburetor tune-up for the most part. And ever since I started having carburetor problems, I've switched to strictly non-ethanol fuel in my small engines. I still use normal 87 octane in my lawnmower and my normal 4-stroke mowers, but in all these 2-stroke motors, I'm using ethanol-free fuel. And strictly Shindiawa red fuel mix. So that seems to be helping. Ever since I did do some tune-up work and stuff, it seems to be helping with prolonging any type of issues, because that ethanol really is just a killer. But anyway, let's get to the chase. I'm going to start them up and you'll see how they run. You saw earlier they were on the trailer. None of this stuff has been ran in about a week, so this is going to be 100% honest cold starts. The one I'm expecting to run the best is my normal trimmer. This is the one I use every day. This is my go-to trimmer. This thing runs because I've put the most time into this one to make sure it does. I'll start this one first. First trimmer down, as you can see, as expected. Pulled, probably would have started first pull, but I had the choke up because I haven't ran it so long. So second pull, nothing to it. My grandma could have started this thing. Okay, we're going to get on to the hedge trimmer. This thing's been giving me a little issues. It does run, but it just takes a minute. You got to work with it. Not expecting anything magical to happen here. It's probably gonna take a minute, but we'll give it our best shot. Having to leave the choke on right now for it to even stay running, which is normal. Hedge trimmer, that's probably the best it's worked since I've been using the thing in the last couple weeks on some jobs. It's kind of pissing me off. The thing gives me all kinds of trouble when I'm out there in the field, and then I turn it on here in my garage in front of the camera and the thing wants to freaking be a star. So yeah, I did put, last time I used it though, I did put some mechanic in a bottle in there, and then some what's that stuff called? Sea foam. I put some sea foam in there, then I put some mechanic in a bottle in there. It was running, it was just having some carb issues. Also kind of retuned the carb a little bit with the screwdriver, so heck, maybe that's what did it. Once the stuff got worked in there and stuff, that was the last time I used it, so the thing's running really good now, as you can see. I mean, that's about as good as it's going to get. You know, I haven't ran that thing in a long time. Like I said, probably last Friday. So it's been about Friday, shoot, it's Thursday now. It's almost a week. And the thing started, it's been sitting out in the rain too, on top of that. And it started up, what, like 6th pull. Let it run the choke for about 15-20 seconds, and then bam, it was ready to go. So yeah, that's my Shindiawa hedge trimmer. all my trimmers are the 254 models, so they're all the same motor. That way, I recommend that if you're going to get a bunch of trimmers and you're going to get the same type of brand, go ahead and get all the same engine sizes. That way, if anything goes wrong, if you need replacement parts, you know exactly. If one of these messes up, I know how to fix all of them because they're all the same motor, same exact thing, just different types of heads on the end of them. So that's what I do. So I know how to work on one, I know how to work on them all. And then if one does blowing up in a few years, say the engine blows or something, carburetor's still good. If I have a carburetor go bad on the other one, I can take the one with the blown engine, put the carburetor on the other one because the parts are interchangeable. It's the same motor. So that's the advantage of having every trimmer be the same type of model. You don't have to get 254s, you don't have to get Shindiawa, you can get whatever you want, but find a trimmer you like and stick with it. Get the other types of models. I do recommend getting a brand that does make everything though. Don't use a trimmer brand that just makes trimmers. If you're gonna choose a brand for your lawn business, they need to make everything. They need to make blowers, trimmers, weed eaters, edgers, everything. That way you can have some consistency there. You don't want to have 10 different types of weed eaters. So this one is the final one. We also put some seafoam in it. I'm definitely not expecting this to work good. This one is the oldest one of the three. It's probably the least taken care of the three, unfortunately. Hate to say it, but it's true. This was the first weed eater I got when I started my lawn business, so it got the rough end of the deal. It was when I was first starting. I wasn't a huge expert and stuff, so anyway, this is just the worst one, honestly. Not because there's anything wrong with this, but it's just the way I've taken care of it. It still does run though, it just needs a little bit of a tune-up and stuff, and it'll be back to normal. There's nothing majorly wrong with it. This is the Shindiawa M254, which is just the multi-tool. You can put anything on here. Like I said, it was the first one I got, so I didn't have the money to go buy a hedge trimmer, an edger, and a weed eater separately, so I just got the multi-tool and I bought the little pieces to interchange out of it. That way I had less money invested, but I had an edger, a weed eater, and a hedge trimmer and all that. So let's see if it'll start. Good sound. I guess you guys are going to see, if you can't get one of these things to start, this is what I do to make them start. And sometimes this thing gets flooded because it's got an issue with the little air thing that comes out. There's a little black thing that comes out. It's supposed to let air get to the air is supposed to be able to release from the gas tank so pressure doesn't build up. It's kind of clogged up, so air builds up in that gas tank as I pull, and pressure builds up in there, and it causes the engine to get flooded because that air has nowhere to go, and it's pushing that fuel through there and flooding it. So I got to get a new little part for that. It's just a little black piece that you'll see coming out on the tube. All that is just for the air to get released from your gas tank. That's the main problem with this one, is it gets flooded. If you leave the gas tank on there, it'll flood because the air pressure builds up in there when that gas heats up and crap. Anyway, to get this one started, I gotta take the air filter off, and then I'm going to be placing my finger over here on and off, give it a good choke and stuff. starting to get flooded now, so it may not run. I can smell the gases. Well, I'm not going to screw with it anymore. As you can see, it's trying, but it's just not going to do it. It's getting a little flooded, plus somehow there's some carburetor crap jacked up in there too, because it's, you know, you can hear it's getting running, but it's dying out, like it's not getting the right amount of fuel to get running, so needs some carburetor work. I'm out of breath, but it'll run, just needs some carburetor work. Nothing special, I just need to open it up and clean it out and stuff. It's really dirty. As you can see, I'll show you. It's just real dirty. All that needs to be cleaned up. Need to open all this up, take the primer bulb off, take all this off, clean all that out good. Get in there to that needle valve, clean it out good. It'll probably run like new. I'll make another video showing y'all its progress. Last thing, I guess, I'll do my blower also. If you watch my lawn care setup video, you've already seen what I think about this blower. This thing is awesome. So far, I can honestly say in the 2 years I've had this thing, I've done zero maintenance to it. Zero. Like, I haven't touched a thing on it. I've used the crap out of it, especially in fall. Looks like it's low on gas, but it'll still go. But the thing I love about this thing, you got this giant air filter on here. I don't want to take it off. That's one of the things is stupid air filter clamps. The clamps are real hard plastic, and they're super tough to get off. Usually I do it with a screwdriver, but it's got this giant air filter on here, and I haven't changed this thing. I've never changed it. This is the original filter, and you can see how clean it is. It's still really clean. I have cleaned it off. I've probably cleaned this thing out maybe 4 times since I've had it, probably once every like 6 months or something, and maybe like once every 4 months. But anyway, what I'm saying is I haven't done hardly anything with this. Air filter's still clean. Everything's still awesome. It does get a lot of use though. It's not because I never used it is why it's still good. I mean, you can see it's really faded and stuff. It's always sitting in the back of my truck. I use it a ton. It does go through a lot of gas, but I think that's just any blower. You know, when you're running these things, you're always running them full out. They're really powerful. They got the turbos and crap, so they are going to go through some gas pretty good. But this thing's just amazing. Like I said, I've had it like 2 years. I use it all the time, especially in the fall. I mean, I might be using this thing like 2 hours straight on a cleanup job, and it just never stops going. It's been through a lot. It gets thrown around in the back of my truck all the time. The stupid dogs, like I said, that tear my crap up. They've chewed my kill switch. So for the past, I haven't felt like jacking with it. So for the past year, the way I stop the thing is by just squeezing the fuel line to cut the fuel off. That's how I stop it. And you can see my dogs chewed the crap out of this, the tip. I haven't bought a new tip yet. It still works fine. I've been running it like that for like 6 months. But yeah, I mean, the thing's just awesome. It's also really comfortable. It fits really snug on you. It's really light. It's got like good padding here in the back. It's probably the most comfortable blower I've ever worn. Yeah, I really can't complain. The only complaint I have about this, my honest complaint, is it doesn't have a primer bulb. So it does take a little bit longer to start than other things with a primer bulb. All it has is a choke, so it takes usually, like right now, it'll probably take about like 5 to 10 pulls to start, just because I gotta choke it and give the gas a chance to get through there. But it will start, it just takes a minute. Highly recommend that thing. We do have another Shindiawa blower. I don't have it here with me right now, but I choose that thing over the Shindiawa all day. Shindiawa still is a really good blower. It's really powerful and all, but I just prefer that just strictly probably by the comfort. It's just more comfortable to wear. It's lighter. With the Shindiawa, it's really powerful and everything, but it just feels like you have like a freaking soldier that you're carrying on your back into battle. So that's why you see all this Shindiawa here and then a Husqvarna blower just here by itself, because that thing is just awesome. But that's pretty much it. As you can see, all this equipment here is about 2 years old. Still runs fairly well. Those two are running really good, just almost like new. This thing runs just like new. Like I said, just on a cold day like this, it does take a second to get started. But normally when you're out there working all day and stuff, it doesn't do that. 2 or 3 pulls and it'll start. But the only one I'm having problems with is this one here. And I'm going to get that fixed up, and I'll make a follow up on that. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for some good, reliable equipment, you can't really go wrong with any of these choices. All this stuff is 2 years old and still runs, still has plenty of life in it. I wouldn't be surprised if I get another year or 2 at least out of it. And then I'll probably be switching to some new equipment. But yeah, just if you got any questions or anything, let me know. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like what you see here. Any other videos that you guys would be interested in me doing or whatever, just suggest them in the comments. I'll do my best.